So I didn't know him in those days. Farm boy.
He's been a big Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's good. We haven't had a chance to know. Yeah, we get on the road here.
Be good. No, I just met him for the first time. Wow, right? Good.
Brave! Halt!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 150th anniversary of the Port Dover Cemetery. Today we not only commemorate the cemetery's 150 years, but also the first time Darlene Hominick has been on time for a meeting. My name is Tom Morrison, and I serve in the dual role of president of the Port Dover Cemetery Company and the president of the board of directors. This time I'd like to have Padre Greenfield come up and offer our blessing.
Thank you, Tom. And I had a lovely chat with Darlene, but you really have no idea what you have gotten yourselves into by putting me behind a microphone. Because I can talk more than Jay McDonald, if anybody knows him. But anyway, thank you for the privilege to be here today on such a beautiful day with all of you lovely people. It is a privilege to bless the commemoration of this well looked after cemetery and to bless the people who look after all aspects of it so well. Let us bow our heads and ask God to join us. Dear Father in heaven, we know that you are in our midst as there is so much love that surrounds us. We thank you for the peace that you bring to these grounds. So much history is here in the loved ones who share this final resting place. This commemoration proves that they will never be forgotten. We are here today to dedicate and to celebrate. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Now, grief is the last act of love we can give all of those who are departed. Each of us handles grief in various ways. Life is measured in love and positive contributions. Let us look around and see the beauty, and let us be grateful for those who are in their heavenly realm, but let us also be grateful for those we stand shoulder to shoulder with today. When moving to this area, I joined the clergy at the Norfolk General Hospital. Late one evening, I received a call to visit someone in palliative care. When I got there, he was an elderly veteran who had served in the Second World War as a pilot with the Royal Canadian Air Force. He went to England and had already served many missions. On a chance encounter, he met this beautiful young girl named Natalie. He told me he immediately fell in love with her. And within a short time frame, they were married. After the war, she came back to Canada with him. They had a son and lived an amazing life together. He always called her his beautiful bride. After 63 years of marriage, she passed away of cancer. He missed her deeply and had a bench placed near her grave in her memory, and so often he would visit her, as often as he could, and he would read to her. While I was sitting beside him, visiting with him, he was waiting for his son to arrive, who lived in BC. And he told me of a dream that he had. He said he was in the cemetery reading to his beautiful bride when a little girl came and stood in front of him. He asked her, "What is your name?" She said, "It's Emily, and I know Natalie very well." She said, "I'm buried just a few stones further up. You'll see the one with a lamb on it." And Emily said, "God lets me return to earth to help cheer people up. But Natalie says to say hello and that she will see you soon." He said he then woke up from that dream and smiled. I held his hand and we prayed and we talked some more until I noticed his breathing pattern was changing, and I knew he was in his final moments. His son arrived and said, "Hi, Dad, I'm here." And he held his other hand, and his dad smiled. A few minutes later, he passed away. He was buried next to Natalie, and after conducting the service, I walked through the cemetery with his son and saw the gravestone with the lamb. Many of you here may not believe in angels, but they are amongst us. That was a perfect example of that dream. And I thank you that you listened to this story, as I felt it was appropriate for today. And let us continue now with our program of events. And again, I am grateful that I was able to be part of it. Thank you.
Color party! Deposit colors! Left turn. Left turn. Quick march. Pray! Fall out!
As we gather today to mark the 150th anniversary of the Port Dover Cemetery, we take a moment to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabeg, Haudenosaunee, Mississaugas of the First Credit Nation. This land is covered by Treaty 3, signed in 1792, and we recognize that the long-standing relationships between the Indigenous peoples in this region, long before the cemetery was established in 1875, and continuing to this day. We honor the enduring presence and deep stewardship of all Indigenous communities who care for this land and its waters. As we reflect on the lives and stories preserved here in the cemetery, we also commit to walking forward with respect, gratitude, and a shared responsibility to care for this land together. At this point, I'd ask Poet Laureate John B. Lee to step forward.
Thank you very much. What an honor it is to participate in this occasion. Poets laureate are sometimes asked to write what we call occasional poems, a poem dedicated to an occasion. And if the poem ends up being a keeper, that's usually accidental. I was pleased by the quality of the poem that came out of my pen. Perhaps inspired by being a resident of Port Dover and being familiar with this graveyard, this cemetery. The title of the poem is Poem Composed in Commemoration of the 150th anniversary of Port Dover Cemetery. Walk softly where I lie, below the grass, beneath the stone that bears my name, where lichen blooms and mosses mask these plinths, while weather rains and seasons pass through purities of winter snow. Come future springs that green the shade and cooling shadows of the day, and moonlit solace of the nights that come to calm each dreaming heart. The mystery of living's incomplete in loving sorrow of all silenced lives, where every child is elder held, and every elder mourned by memories past. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Just to give you a little bit of background on the cemetery. The cemetery is a registered nonprofit organization with a volunteer board, all of whom have vested interest with loved ones interred here at the cemetery. The cemetery adheres to the province's Funeral, Burial and Cremation Services Act and is licensed through the Bereavement Authority of Ontario. All aspects of the cemetery and its operations are monitored through that body. We gather today to honor not just the history of this site, but the lives that have been woven into the fabric of our community. In 1875, since 1875, the Port Dover Cemetery serves as a resting place, a historical record, and a reminder of the generations that came before us. Each headstone, each monument, marker, or memorial tells a story. Each name has value. Each visitor that contributes to the living memory of those we honor. Over these past 150 years, countless stories have been etched into these grounds. A few of those stories you'll hear as we walk through the cemetery today. Personally, my connection with the cemetery goes back to my childhood. When my grandparents passed in the late 60s, it became my parents' responsibility to ensure that the flowers were placed on the family members' graves each Decoration Sunday. And with my grandparents, great-grandparents, great-aunts, uncles, cousins, and now friends and families, it's my pleasure to carry on the family tradition with love and respect, which again will be in a few weeks. A few years ago, a new cemetery board was formed. I had the opportunity to purchase some land here at the cemetery, and I met Jody Kirk. And with a bit of a background in funeral service, I asked if there was a room on the board. Jody said, "As a matter of fact, there is. We're looking for a new president. Would you be interested in doing that?" Well, be happy to chat. So Mike and Dave and Gary and I had a chat, and here we are today. When the new cemetery board was formed, we had many goals. One of the many goals was the commitment to ensure that the Port Dover Cemetery Board would not fall victim to the changing times as many rural cemeteries have, and be turned over to municipal governments. The board is proud to say that the Port Dover Cemetery is on solid foundation with a clear vision and direction for the future. Another commitment that the board made was with respect to the restoration and the preservation of the historic documents that you see here today. Underneath the green covering are a minute book and ledger that were dated back to the early times of the cemetery, possibly 1875, 1880 in there. The large map, as you'll see, was in storage for many years. We were able to rescue that and have it restored to the state it's in now. Well, all three of these items were restored by the Book and Paper Conservation Services of London, where Jennifer Robertson, who is an art conservator specializing in fine art and paper, archival documents, and rare books, upon her completion of the map, it was placed in the hands of Chops Framing in London for matting, specialized glass, and custom framing, make it a beautiful piece that is certainly museum quality. So we're very proud that we not only honor the people that are here interred in these grounds, but also through the artifacts that we have. We're always looking too. If somebody's got something out there from the Port Dover Cemetery, we're certainly happy to take it off your hands. Lots of new initiatives for the cemetery. It's a small rural cemetery that have lots of challenges. We don't have a big budget. We're not funded by municipal government. As the spots that you're sitting on now, where I am right here, within the next month or so, there'll be 2 new columbariums that are going to be placed here. The rate of cremation right now in Ontario is between 75 and 80%. So we try to keep up with the changing times with that. That's why the columbariums will be put in place. They should last us 5 to 10 years, and then we'll move forward from there. We took over the house. Jody, who takes care of the grounds, don't look at the house and say that's all Jody's fault. We're not too sure what we're going to do with the house property yet. That's another initiative that the board will undertake. We're looking at different revenue streams that the cemetery can undertake that can help offset the cost of running the cemetery. So the people that got involved with the cemetery, they thought, well, it's nice, just I'll be involved with the community endeavor, but it really is a big undertaking and a business that we have to take a lot of responsibility for. At this point, I'd like to ask MPP Bobby Ann Brady to come up with a few words.
Thank you, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. It is both a solemn and sacred honor to stand with you today as we mark the 150th anniversary of the Port Dover Cemetery. For a century and a half, this ground has been a place of remembrance, reverence, and reflection, a resting place for generations who built, shaped, and served our community. Each headstone here tells a story, as Tom said. Some speak of long lives lived, like Natalie's. Others are reminders of lives taken too soon. Soldiers, settlers, teachers, farmers, parents, and children. This cemetery is a silent record of the people who made this place home. Today, we do not only look back, but we also renew our promise to remember. We honor those who came before us, and we express our gratitude for the legacies they left behind, their courage, their values, and their hopes for the future. For many of you, there's a great deal of personal history, and with that is a lot of emotion that never goes away for those with loved ones here. And seeing how well this beautiful place is maintained only brings comfort. I can attest to that. Also of great importance is the community history that shines through right here on this property, and the historical artifacts, the founding family histories, along with the headstones and the memorials. They are a critical physical link to our past. I understand the artifacts were restored with backing from the Port Dover Foundation and the Port Dover Lions Club. I want to extend a hearty thank you to both organizations for investing in this act of preservation. And thank you to the Legion Pipe Band for the wonderfully touching musical backing. Let us all take the moment to thank the caretakers, the families, and the volunteers who have tended to this sacred place over the years, preserving its dignity and history for future generations. As we reflect on 150 years of memories, may we carry forward the wisdom of the past, walk with humility in the present, and act with hope for the future. Thank you to the entire board for maintaining the commitment of going it on your own, despite the challenges. Thank you and congratulations on 150 years.
There's a tremendous amount of people that I'd like to thank today. And I know it's a sunny day. Thank God for that. We weren't too sure what kind of weather we were going to get. But as Bobby Ann mentioned, I'd like to thank the Port Dover Foundation and the Lions Club, whose generous contributions assisted us in preserving our archival treasures. Jody, if you wouldn't mind, can you take the top off those things? Yes. As Jody does that, I'd like to thank Jody Kirk. He's our cemetery superintendent. Jody truly loves the cemetery and basically has grown up here. His dedication in ensuring that these 25 acres are taken care of respectfully and looking so good. Jody, thanks very much for everything you do. We've established a new kind of way of doing things. Jody gets the calls from the complaints and he passes them on to me, and I'm not too sure if we've got to work on that system. I'm not too sure. I want to thank the past board members that are here today, Dave Tilbury and Mike Horrigan. for your care and dedication guiding the cemetery through many challenges, and your unwavering efforts in keeping the cemetery independent and providing the people of Port Dover with a place of dignity and pride. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. To my fellow board members, Gary Hepburn, Linda Carter, who I inherited, Darlene Hominick, Lee Hall, Jeff Miller, Kim Schott, and Gary Silock. Thank you for your dedication and commitment to the cemetery board and our initiatives as we respect the past, serve in the present, and have a vision in the future. Thank you all very much. I was saying earlier, I always don't have good luck with the chicks. Some might find that hard to believe. But I hit a home run when I made a call a few months ago to Kim Schott. And I asked Kim to lead this committee for putting this event on. And we asked Darlene and Linda to join that committee. And you ladies have done incredible work. And you've done the cemetery proud. You've done the town of Port Dover proud, and everybody that's interred here proud. Ladies, thank you very much. When I was trying to find words for those three ladies and how to thank them, where's Andy Blackwood? Andy, you'll appreciate this, Andy. I came up with the word dauntless to describe these three ladies. And as a noun, the word dauntless refers to the World War II torpedo bomber, right? Dauntless. As a verb, dauntless means to be fearless, confident, bold, not easily intimidated. And that was you three. So, thank you again very much. Finally, a personal note. About two personal notes. About 10 years ago, I had a call from Gary Hepburn. And Gary didn't know me, and I didn't know Gary. But I had just purchased an old antique map book of Port Dover. Gary called me and said, "You don't know me, but I'd like to take this map book and have it photographed, and I'll get it back to you." And I thought, where is Gary? Here. So Gary, this is a good story. So, I don't know this guy. So I call the legend, John Wells. And I say, "John, who's this guy Hepburn? I just bought this beautiful book. I don't know this guy." John says to me, "Tommy, you can trust him. He's a man of good character and a nice guy." And Gary, I just want to thank you for your support for me over the last couple of years since I came on the board. Thank you very much, John. You didn't let John down, and I hope I haven't. So, thank you. Thanks, Gary. Adam Very is our Port Dover councillor. Adam's helped us on a few initiatives and will continue to help us on a few initiatives. And we're glad that he's in our corner here at the cemetery and in Port Dover. Adam, thanks very much for coming today. Finally, for me, at this point anyway, I'd like to thank my own parents for instilling in me the importance of honoring and remembering my loved ones and planting the seeds of connection with this place for me that are very special for me. As I said, through the 70s and the 80s, it didn't matter rain or snow, or rain or shine, we were always here, and I was supposed to be dedicated to these people, these loved ones that I had interred here. I look forward to the day when I meet cousin Frank, who I never met before, but I put flowers on his grave every year, or the Sergeant Major and Aunt Laura that are there. I look forward to that, and that connection that my mom and dad instilled in me, I hold very dear. So thank you very much for indulging me with that. So, Randy Helmo over here, he's the man that put class into Classy FM. Randy, thanks very much for all your support. And I know it was a lot. And honestly, when I heard the flag go down, Jay, I thought it was the map. I wasn't sure what Randy was doing. Randy, thanks very much for being here. Andy Blackwood, thank you very much for your commitment to everything historical in Norfolk County and what you're about to take these people on our walking tour. Thank you very much for your support to the cemetery. And once again, our Poet Laureate, John B. Lee. Thank you, John, for all your creativity. We appreciate you being here today. Thank you. So folks, at this time, I am going to step aside and I am going to allow Andy Blackwood to host you on the walking tour of the Port Dover Cemetery. There's select people that we have decided to honor today. It was very difficult. When you walk through the cemetery, everybody, that better not be the map. No offense to the colors. But as you walk through the cemetery, there's countless people that we can honor. And this, what we're doing today is just the first step in honoring some of the lives that have shaped the town of Port Dover. So, thank you very much. Andy, I will turn it over to you.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, if it would give you pleasure and you are physically able, would you please to follow me on the path up towards our first stop? We'll come this way, please, not through there. We don't want you to trip and join the people who are already in turn here.